You know the feeling, right? You cram for a big test, you're up all night, only to forget pretty much everything a week later. It's so frustrating. But what if there's a way to learn that actually, sticks?
Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to look at two really different ways to think about learning. You've got your old school, traditional model, and then you have something called project-based learning, or PBL for short. All right, first up, let's talk about the system most of us are super familiar with. You can basically think of it as a straight line, a one-way street from the teacher talking to you, taking a test.
Yeah, this probably looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? The info just flows in one direction, from the teacher out to the students. And what's the goal? Well, it's pretty simple. Memorize enough stuff to pass the test. And once that test is handed in, boom, the process is over, done. And this really hits the nail on the head. It shows what happens in the end. After the test, all that information, poof, it just kind of vanishes because it's not connected to anything real. It's literally a linear path to forgetting.
But the issue is bigger than just forgetting a few facts. According to the source material we're digging into, there are a couple of really fundamental cracks in this old system.
So let's really zoom in on these pain points, because they get to the heart of why this whole model just doesn't always work. Okay, first big problem, working alone. I mean, think about it. You're usually told to study by yourself, right? But that's the complete opposite of how most jobs work today, which is all about teamwork. And the second thing, you don't actually make anything. Yeah, you get a grade on a piece of paper, but you're not building a portfolio of cool stuff that shows what you can do. You're not turning your learning into a real showcase of your skills. So, what's the alternative? Well, this is where project-based learning comes into the picture. And it completely flips the old model on its head. The idea is, instead of learning stuff for a test, the whole learning experience is built around one big central project. And this right here, this is the core idea, the absolute heart of it. The project isn't just some homework you do at the end. No way. The project is the teaching. It's how you learn, how you practice, and how you're assessed, all rolled into one. And just look at the difference in the vibe here. It's amazing. We went from that boring straight line to this dynamic, continuous loop. It's not just a different shape on a chart. It's a whole different story about working together and always moving forward.
Okay, so how does this engine actually run? What makes this learning loop go round and round? Let's break it down. So it all kicks off with real problems. We're not talking about some question at the end of a chapter. We're talking about messy, real-world challenges that make you think. Right away, your learning has a purpose. Then you jump into team collaboration, which is exactly how things get done in the real world, right? Next up, you actually create a deliverable, a real thing, a product or a solution you can point to and say, hey, we made that. But, and this is super important, it doesn't stop there. The last step is constant iteration. You get feedback, you tweak things, you make it better. And that right there is how you get learning that actually sinks in and lasts. So when you step back and look at the big picture, the difference is just crystal clear. This isn't just about two different ways to teach. It's about two completely different results. Are you on a path to forgetting, or are you on a path to building something that sticks with you? And this lays it all out side by side. It's perfect. On the left, you've got the old way, that straight line, all about tests and working by yourself. And on the right, you have the new way, that continuous loop, powered by teamwork and creating actual real things. It's really the difference between just learning to pass a test and learning how to solve a real problem. And that really leaves us with one big, important question, doesn't it? Our world is getting more and more complex. So which of these paths do you think is actually getting us ready for what's next? Which one is building the kind of people, the collaborators, the innovators, the problem solvers that we really truly need?